So let's just go there. And we are starting with it, and it's going to be Nomad. Okay, so they are going to be trying to surprise their opponents with this map choice. Well, let's see if it's going to be working. Definitely not sure. Because from what I remember, actually Japanese clan is pretty good on Nomad. So I'm not exactly sure if it's going to be that much of a surprise. But yeah, the map spawn is kinda interesting, as we are going to be having pretty fair fish all around. You can see on the minimap a lot of fishies absolutely everywhere. And yeah, the spawn positions, so far, how's it looking? For Caligula, it's going to be right now here on the left. Spot with hunt, with some boar and gold and stone. Okay, so this is pretty decent spot, even though he probably doesn't see it yet. Let's switch into his point of view. Well, he sees where the gold on the left is, some extra sheep and boar. Deer, next to the TC extra deer, stone, okay. So far it doesn't even know how good spot it is for him. Chocobo is going to be docking right now at the top side. Having also berries, boar and some extra sheep with the gold. And otherwise, yeah, pretty good position for him as well. With extra berries, boar, this is really very nicely spawned for him. But yeah, since you are on the Nations Cup maps, they usually spawn all of them quite nicely. In the meantime, of course, Shard is going to be quite close to Chocobo, which is going to be making the position of Caligula not really that great. He's going to be probably quite unhappy about it. But looking at the quite funny we would line in here, he's of course going to be protected, at least in the early game, but not really for much longer. As of course he's going to be cutting through it, and that will last him for just a few minutes before he is through to the other side. Yep, let's throw the chat. Everybody just having pretty nice spawning positioned in here. As May is going to be on the right, and well, he's not going to be that alone in there. It's basically not the same position as for Caligula. Caligula is going to be having a bit harder position in there, a lot of mines and everything around him. As he's also going for a bit of shore fish in there with the villager, and of course the dock. And it seems like the top water is going to be all in power of Wars, aka in Japan A. And this is actually going to be quite nice for them. The docking by DM the Death at the bottom with yellow as well. So they are going to be attempting to actually control the bottom side of the water. And I wouldn't be surprised if Vlad for Karstein also dropped the dock sometime soon. But, well, so far, he's just milling and hoping that he probably doesn't have to involve himself in the water at all. Interesting choice, but yeah, why not? His starting position is also not bad either. Nice gold, a lot of sheep that are not so far gathered, so he probably doesn't see them. Vlad for Karstein. Oh yeah, he doesn't even know about the second boar in there. Or second boar, first boar. Because the second is here. Which he actually might be knowing about. Yeah, looking at actually the scouting in there, it probably does. But a lot of sheep all around him. Which is kind of curious that he so far hasn't scouted for. But he probably doesn't want to slow himself down at all. But as a Chinese, he potentially could. But yeah, he's not really interested in that all that much. Stone, gold, gold. With some sheep, of course. And just to finish my thought, that May is not in such a bad position as potentially Caligula is, because of course he's going to be facing straight on against DMD Death, but the grey opponent is quite far away, whereas Chocobo and Shard are quite close by, so this is going to be very hard to actually play for Caligula, as he's going to be relying on the help from his teammate in the pocket, who is slightly further away from him, and really might not be that easy as it potentially can be for Japan A. Looking, for example, right now at the villages, as Vlad for Karstein is finally looking, as the Chinese, as we were expecting and hoping that he would do to boost his economy. We are looking at villages from... Now, this is kind of interesting, because right now I'm kind of surprised that Japan actually hasn't chosen Chinese, as that's usually one of the strongest civilizations on a map like this. On a Nomad, they are usually pretty good with the strong start, with the more villages, but yeah, they are not going for it. They are having Mayans, Persians and Vikings, whereas the opponents are having Mayan, Persians and Chinese. So right now, of course, May with the Vikings should be controlling the waters fairly easily. So let's see if that's going to be the case, but yeah, we would definitely be expecting something like that from him. So far, just looking at the growing economy. Right now at the fishing boats, we are looking at 5 for Chocobo, definitely the most of all the players. And well, Karstein just now come in with the first one because of course he was quite late to dock, and right now a bit of idles in there right next to the house. Coming for the ball right next to the town center. Otherwise the amount of villages 14, 13 and 19 for Vlad for Karstein. This is exactly the advantage that the Chinese usually do have. And the opponents are at 16, 15, 16. So yep, overall the number is not really that different. But we mustn't forget that Vlad for Karstein is the Chinese, so that's the natural advantage for him. But otherwise, it's basically better for Wars, aka Japan A. Some other information for Wars, as I'm talking about them like that, because of course they have been participating in RTS League so far. They have actually been defeated in the round of 16, in the first round of playoffs. They have lost to BF, Black Forest, and Black Forest are coincidentally going to be playing their quarterfinal second round of playoffs today against CZ Clan on our channel, RTS League channel / RTS League. And they are going to be playing at 16:30 GMT. So that's in about, what is actually right now the time? Right now is 13:30 about, right? So in about 3 hours, they're going to be playing on our channel / RTS League, and it's going to be probably me streaming as well. So if you're going to be interested in some pretty interesting games and pretty high level games, because CZ Clan and together with them Black Forest this season have been playing very well indeed, and CZ Clan they are playing basically in the golden stage, the Golden League of the Nations Cup, so that's basically the same team for them. Well, you are going to be in for a pretty nice treat. The match is going to be best of 5, so at least 3 games, but I wouldn't be surprised by 4 at all. But yeah, the strength of BF is usually on migration, but it has to be said that CZs are very strong on water maps overall, so it might not be that big of an advantage as they might be hoping. Yeah, apparently Vlad von Karstein needs to be careful about housing himself, as the first feudal age is going to be coming in from Chocobo, and that's kind of expected because of course he's having a very strong support of the water economy, like really strong. He's so far having how many? 10 fishing boats, which is the most of them all. 7 for Chart and 6 for May, whereas the opponents are at 6, 5, 5. So yep, definitely very strong boom for Chocobo, and we will be expecting. At this point, I would be expecting fast castle from him, because he is also in the pocket position, so he is not in the flank. As we already are looking at Chart, volleying himself in on the left side, and of course hoping that he can somehow... right now coming for the stone. I'm just kinda right now halfway thinking what's gonna happen. Right now, if he's gonna drop a tower to basically annoy his opponent, he definitely could, but yeah, he probably would be killed by the town center. But I would be more expecting him to actually try to advance faster into castle age and just to drop a castle about here. Just drop a castle in there, kill all the villages, and be as annoying as possible. I think that would be a pretty good strategy from him. Basically castle drop his opponent across the wood line. And yep, that will be also one of the reasons why I was talking about a bit difficult gameplay for Caligula a bit earlier. So barracks coming down. What's gonna follow? Should be stable. Already third Borg, you can see. And not even gathering from all of them. Right now going to be coming in here to finish with it to prevent any kind of unfortunate decay. But the feudal ages are just coming in very slowly. Just Chocobo and DM Death. And Death, well, is he going for some galleys already or not? Well, apparently so far not, so he doesn't seem to be expecting any kind of opposition from his opponent. Well, they are probably just going to be hoping that there's not going to be all that much of a fighting on the water, all that much. We don't expect anything from Chocobo. He will be expecting from May. Nice sheep. A nice sheep indeed. May right now. What is it going to be his interest? So far not going for a water fight at all. Interesting. Cancellation for DM the Death. You'll be expecting that as the Persian. And well, same is going to be happening from Chocobo as well as the Persian in there. It's going to be just a question of time. Yep, right now, exactly. And May is coming into Castle Age as well. So, nothing right now from May. So it seems like that nobody's going to be fighting for the water. And they are probably just going to be coming for the full-on fight on the land. And I guess why not? As in the meantime, Chart is finishing with the walling, which is of course a bit more difficult because of course we are on the Nations Cup. patch. So he's using even buildings, and this is actually a pretty clever idea. It might be looking like a random placement of houses, but of course the reason behind that is because he's fully expecting that his opponent is gonna cut through this wood line very soon, and he doesn't want to be surprised by that at all. Is it gonna be castle or rather tower drop? Yep, exactly. Yeah, Chart is definitely gonna have to be careful because he of course doesn't know about it at all. This is going to be well in range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6, 7. That's going to be pretty close on the range, to be honest, on the back side of the stone. Not exactly sure if he's going to be even reach there, but he's definitely going to reach the ones in the front, and this is going to be a very nice surprise and nicely played by Caligula. A very good idea. Yep, right now getting in there. So of course he's gonna be forced into into quite a lot more to defend himself. In the meantime, of course, there was a bit of attempt, actually a water fight in on the left, where Chart has built a dock quite unexpectedly on the other side of the water. He wasn't really interested in joining on the safe side on the right. So of course right now it's going to be resulting into Caligula trying to push him off, and he should be succeeding without any kind of problem because Chart is probably not going to be interested in that much of a fighting in there. So that's that. Whereas of course Castle Ages are hitting Chart and Platform Karstein are advancing into Castle Age at pretty much the same time as Chocobo is already dropping some quite important knights to try and deny anything that the yellow opponent is going to be trying to do against him. So this is just scout raiding in here, nothing more than that, as on the top side of this part of the map we are looking at Mae trying to basically prepare himself with some monastery. And of course this definitely makes a whole lot of sense because he's going to be expecting knights from the Persian, and that's exactly what's going to happen in there. So that's that. Archers are going to be the unit of choice for the Mayan, as you would be expecting, and since he's not really gathering any stone at all, it's going to be just normal archer range. But since we have seen such a huge amount of villagers gathering stone, and right now he does have second stone in there, it's going to be after he advances a castle from him. He's just gathering, missing just the last 80 to drop a castle, and let's see where he's gonna drop it. Definitely curious what's gonna happen if it's gonna drop it here. Oh, yeah, it's gonna be in this position. I was kinda thinking and halfway hoping that he might be wanted to actually drop it about here to really deny this, potentially shoot at the town center and whatnot. Would be kind of a funny idea from him, but we mustn't forget that as the castle is right now being built, there is already raiding going on by Chocobo on the gold of the teal player, and this is going to be quite significant help to May, who is a Viking and doesn't have all that many choices what to do other than to basically convert the knights from his opponent, and then he will require quite significant assistance to deal with the opponent, who is just now attempting to drop a town center next to the stone. This could be actually quite deadly. If he notices this, has he actually seen it? Yeah, probably hasn't, but right now there is Chocobo right now signaling him that he should be coming in with the Mangonel. Oh yeah. They have built a nice trap for themselves, to be honest. And he needs one more hit. Can he survive for it? Yes, he can. Oh well, that turned into absolutely horrible disaster. That was actually a nice idea. But of course right now the Mangonels are going to be killing even the economy on the gold mine in here. Oh well. And with all the conversions coming up. This was nicely prepared by the MD Death, but unfortunately he didn't really count with this possibility. His Viking opponent having that many siege that soon, and of course with the knights being converted on top of that, this is actually pretty horrible for him. Pretty horrible indeed. It's going to be... not really converted. He was just deleting him because he was basically just now full on seeing that he would just be stolen. And this is absolutely horrible situation right now for the MD Death, because he's not prepared for anything else at all. He doesn't have archer energy, he doesn't have anything. So right now the onagers, or rather further onagers that would like to be a bit later, attacking the town center, and well, of course there was a bit of repair by the village as well. In the meantime, on the left side the castle is finished. It's going to be balloon archers against crossbowmen, and that of course will be supported by Chocobo as well. And even if it wasn't, the balloon archers are going to be quite a lot more efficient than the crossbowmen in there. Okay, how's it looking in there? Nothing really all that much interesting. The town center attempted to be built with a nice outpost to basically make sure that he sees if his opponent was trying to somehow cut through the side of the of the map and annoy him in there. Bit of a switch in radiant into the pocket player into Vlad von Karstein from Chocobo. But of course the town centers in here are not going to be making things any easier. Eventually could be coming in there, but it seems to be just a bit too close to the town center. Definitely is. And yep, right now with the palisade it's going to be exactly protected from raids like these. So castle attempted to be finished from the Chinese. The Chukonus are going to be in picture pretty soon, but is he gonna finish in time? Yes, he will. He will, just in time, as right now blue is switching off. Of course, as the battle on the left, or rather on the right side, is not really right now going all that well. For Orange, as he's losing at least one of the mangonels. He has lost another one in there, but he has still one very much alive, and it seems like that these positions should be more or less secure for him, as a lot of villages are also forced to repair and not do anything else at all. Ah, conversion, come on. Is he gonna be yours? Yes, he is. So a bit of a bonus army for him to protect exactly this mangonel that is gonna get repaired by the repairer. Otherwise, on the water we are looking at some minor skirmishes, not really anything all that major. But it has to be said that we are not seeing all that much of a water economy anymore. Vlad von Karstein 1, Caligula 10, DM the Death 4, whereas the opponents are at 1479. So yeah, for them it's going to be a whole lot better. And yeah, it seems like that May is going to be getting rid of the fishing boats in there with just the one fire ship that is exactly trying to make that happen, as there is a bit of a guard from Vlad von Karstein, but that's pretty much it. So Bloom Duchess and Knights just waiting for something interesting to happen. Yeah, so far don't really see anything that's significant from Yellow being ready, whereas Grey getting up with the Chukonus in there, but that's pretty much it, as Chukonus are going to be exactly a pretty great unit, even against the Knights, but they have to be careful so that the Knights are not in any kind of great numbers. As the Viking is still continuing, trying to convert all the Knights that are coming up, and right now finally, yep, we are looking at DM the Death, doing the correct thing, and that is actually trying to hide some of the knights inside the stable and eject once he gets a bit more, and he's actually switching even into some scout cavalry guys. Well, of course they're gonna be helping against those converted monks, but not exactly expecting that a whole lot, especially right now looking at the spearmen joining the fun for May. So yep, that seems to be going quite alright, even though he seems to be preparing himself a bit more to the south. With extra town center, he's definitely on the back foot, and this really shouldn't be coming for him in any kind of easy way, especially looking at the charts. Bloom Duchess trying to raid the pocket player as well, not just the yellow one. Oh, castle attempted to be dropped. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen, because for some kind of commitment like that, Chocobo and Chart were exactly waiting for that, and they are going to be absolutely wrecking all those villages in there. Castle is not gonna get finished at all, and we will fully be expecting Siege Workshop coming up from Chocobo, and that will be arriving next to the town center pretty soon, and quite probably will be expecting some Imperial Ages pretty soon from especially wars. Looking at the villages for BYT, aka the Spain E, it's going to be 32, 42, 87 for Vlad von Karstein. This is actually not half bad, but considering that the opponents are at 63, 90 and 83, yeah, they are a whole lot better off. A whole lot better off than their opponents, and of course, you can kinda guess that it's gonna be spiraling out of control for them, and the only strong player right now is the Chinese one, and so far he's not really having the army to defend against what is coming, both on the right and on the left. On the right, May just continuing destroying all the buildings. All the buildings that are in his way, and yep, those villagers, even though they are doing a good job defending the town center and repairing, making sure that it's not falling. Of course, you mustn't forget that in the meantime, it's basically like they were idle, or rather even worse than idle, because they are even spending resources to keep this town center alive. Yeah, villagers coming for the gold, probably going to be dropping a castle, right? Wouldn't be surprised by that kind of course of action, and 700 stone definitely speaking to that, and yep, it's gonna be it's going to be exactly castle drop. Yeah, well, nicely played. In the meantime, switching to the left side where the town center has already fallen for yellow for Caligula. He's going to be losing also those ad changes there as well, as castle is going to be attentive number 2. as the one in the front has been deleted probably. And at this point it seems like that it might be finished by looking at the huge army of knights from Chocobo, who is not advancing into Imperial Age but may, together with Chart R. Well, Karstein is as well, but yeah, the units from him are just not numerous enough. And even though second castle is coming up, he should be probably also attempting, as he's right now rated, to go for a bit more camels, because they are usually a pretty decent unit, especially for Chinese who are having just cavaliers. So yeah, in the Imperial Age heavy camels are not half bad. So right now it seems to be a strong double from Chocobo and May on the poor DM to death, who is not really going to be having any kind of easy game. All villagers coming to the town center, and those knights are just going to be absolutely wrecking the TC by themselves. So yeah, this is nicely played, castle finished of course, and Spearmen together with the Mongols finally gonna get rid of the town center in there in the middle. So that's basically going to be it for Teal, I'm thinking. He's going to be losing basically his whole economy in there, and he's going to be, yeah, he doesn't have even anything on the water in here. And even though Vlad von Karstein has been able to defend himself, it's pretty much it. And one fire ship from the Endy Death trying to somehow kill the economy on the water for the opponents. It's going to be taking quite a lot of time, as you can see, as they are almost at the same speed in there. Blue going to be attempting to drop a castle on his opponent to basically protect the gold mine and deny the gold to his opponent, even though he still does have one big there. Finally finished with the castle, so some blue blotches are going to be a possibility for him. But yeah, let's see for how much longer, because of course in the meantime he did have some army, but nothing really all that strong for himself. And oh, actually Chard has found his way into the right battlefield as well. So right now basically DM the death is fully tripled. Fully tripled indeed, and he's having 14 villages, all of them idle, and they are probably hidden inside this TC. I would be expecting, yeah, I don't really expect that they will be somewhere else, and those Plume Duchess are just going to be waiting exactly for them. Well, they are gonna be ejecting right now. Yep, so town center goodbye, and right now even goodbye villages. All of them down. Last 3, last 2, last 1, and 0. 0 right now, villages right now for Teal. And does he have actually some extra military buildings? No, he doesn't. He does have town center that was almost built, but it's not going to be finished. But otherwise, his basically last building is going to be docked, so that's why he isn't actually scratched from the game. But yeah, he's basically right now going to be completely useless in the game, and it's going to be 2 versus 3 with quite a decent amount of Chukonus right now. But of course, the Plume Touchers right now having a bit of an advantage on the hill, which is of course going to be working for them quite alright. But with the Knights, this is just going to be happen, or rather waiting, for the Mangonels from May to go into the full offense, and with the Knights converting into Cavaliers as the Imperial Age has hit for Chocobo as well. In the meantime, on the left, of course, some trebuchet is going to be getting rid of the castles, as one was built on top of that. Some siege works on there as well to help with some rams. But yeah, that's going to be it. That's going to be it for him, as the rams are already coming in as well. Kept rams going to be researched, and the amount of knights and the rams on top of that is going to be just a bit more than yellow Caligula and grey platform Karstein could be able to handle. So it's going to be basically right now attack from both sides, and at this point I'm fairly certain that Spain are just enjoying the games in the Nations Cup and hoping that they can actually right now make the win as difficult as possible for their opponents Japan A. But Japan A so far in the 2 games that we have seen are fully confirming their skill, and the control of the game has been quite good for them so far. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the Mangonel to all those Chukonus. Yep, that's gonna be a good shot. And another good shot, please. Yes. Oh well. Doesn't even need all those cavaliers in there. Doesn't even need the cavaliers in there, as the Mangonel is the hero of this game so far. Killing so many of them, and this was basically the whole army from a grey. And he's going to be losing all the castles, already going to be losing the one at the bottom, the one at the top is going to be lost pretty soon as well, together with the town center. And of course on the left, one castle lost, second just about now, so that's not really much that Caligula can be doing against this, even with the support of Vlad von Karstein and his strong economy. He had 96 villages, but opponents are already 92, 130 and 122, and the GGs are right now going to be called with, of course, Japan A leading in the match 2-0. So still 2 games to go. We are just in the halfway of the Nations Cup Silver League group stage round 1 match. Good control, nicely played. And I definitely liked how May actually played as the Viking in here. Not really concentrating on the water all that much, but he just steamrolled. He just steamrolled the Persian player. And this stop down center was exactly crucial, as he did get there with the mangonel in time to stop the villagers, nicely protected by the palisades, but it turned into a bit of a trap for them. Well, nicely played. Let's check the achievements. Dragon D, game 1, yeah, well, pretty much. Not much of a stomp altogether, but it was well controlled by Japan A. Basically like in this game. And, yep. Looking at the achievements, building slogs, of course. He lost almost everything, so yeah, that would be expected. And strong economy from May yet again. In the last game, he was in the pocket position. This time, not really. He was in the flank and fighting for, or rather from quite early in the game, but still he was able to back it up with pretty strong economy. Okay, GG.